when you press low speed push button, so drive is running in low speed and set frequency is 10 Hz frequency. Okay, when you rotate medium speed selector switch, so drive is running in medium speed and set frequency is 15 Hz frequency. Okay, also motor running indicator is on, which indicates motor is in running condition. Okay, when you rotate high speed selector switch, so you can see drive running is 25 Hz frequency, which is high speed frequency. So in this video we are going to learn how to run Siemens Sinamics V20 drive in multi-speed function, how to do proper connection and which parameter we need to set. Okay, so let's start video. In this video we will learn all concepts very easily and practically. Okay, so first understand setup for this connection. So first we connect one on and off push button for triggering of drive. So for trigger we connect a stop push button in which NC element connect. For low speed push button we connect a NO element. Okay, when you press push button, so your drive is running. When you stop pressing push button, drive will stop. For medium speed we connect one selector switch. Okay, when you rotate selector switch, so your drive is running in permanently. Okay, and for high speed we connect one selector switch. Okay, so two selector switch and one push button. Also it's drive running indicator. When motor is running condition, so indicator will on, and this indicator for fault indication. If any faults occurs in your drive, so fault indicator will blink and indicate. I hope you clear the concept of basic setup. For connection, first understand power wiring. So in power wiring we connect R, Y and B. Three-phase power supply is input power supply. Okay, when drive is in running condition, so from UVW, which is drive output, and connect to the motor terminal. So power wiring is very simple. Now understand control wiring. So for control wiring, first I need to identify terminals. Okay, if you do wiring in PNP mode or source mode, so just do wiring from 24 volt supply. Okay, and need to short 0 volt and D1C. Okay, if you do wiring in PNP mode, so just loop 0 volt and DIC and do wiring from 24 volt for PNP mode. In NPN mode, just loop 24 volt and DIC and do wiring with 0 volt. But in this video we are doing wiring in PNP mode, so we are doing wiring with 24 volt supply. Okay, also we have total 4 digital inputs from DI1 to DI4. Okay, we will also learn how to program this digital input for multi-speed function. For potentiometer connection, plus 10 volt for potentiometer positive power supply. Okay, in this video we will no need to do connection with potentiometer, but for understanding 0 volt for potentiometer ground or 0 volt, because potentiometer reference is voltage type, so potentiometer reference connect to an AI1. Its digital output terminal, which is relay DO1 plus and DO1 minus. We will use this relay for drive running indication, and for fault indication we will use DO2 relay, DO2C, DO2NO and DO2NC for drive fault indication relay. Okay, so first start wiring from plus 24 volt supply, because we are doing wiring in PNP mode. So just take one connector from 24 volt supply and connect this connector in stop push button NC element, in which we connect NC element. From NC input terminal, just loop all push button, selector switch and indicator input power supply. So from NC input terminal we connect one loop, which is low speed push button input terminal, high speed selector, medium speed selector, also two indicator. So just loop 24 volt supply as an input power supply. Okay, when you press this trigger push button, so your drive should start for triggering. So we connect one connector from NC output terminal and connect this connector to DI1 digital input first. When you press this trigger push button, so your drive will start and motor will run. So from NC output we connect to one connector and connect to the DI1, which is digital input first, Okay, we will also program for trigger this digital input. When you press this push button, low speed push button, so we connect one connector from output terminal. And when you press this push button, so we connect this connector to DI2. We will program this DI2 for low speed. Okay, when this command come, so drive will run in low speed function. For medium speed, we connect one selector switch. So from selector switch in which we connect a NO element. So from NO output terminal we connect one connector and connect this connector to DI3 digital input third. We will program digital input third for medium speed function. Okay, it's digital input third. And for digital input 4 we connect one selector switch. So from NO output we connect this connector and connect to the digital input 4. Okay, we will also program this digital input 4 for high speed function. Okay, so low speed, medium speed and high speed wire connection is done. Okay, now for relay connection, as we know in indicator also connection is done. For indicator 24 volt supply is also loop. For glowing this indicator just need to connect a 0 volt. Okay, so we will control 0 volt from both relay. Okay, so this relay for drive running condition and this relay for fault indication. So first we need to do 0 volt in both relay common terminal. Okay, so we take two connectors for two relay supply from 0 volt. Okay, drive 0 volt. So we take one connector of 0 volt. First connect in DO1 minus. Okay, 0 volt first connect in DO1 minus terminal. Okay, for drive running indication relay, and this is fault relay, so just need to connect DO2 common. So 0 volt connect in both relay common terminal. Okay, when first relay is operate, so when motor is running condition, so this relay will operate, and if this relay is operate, so supply comes from DO1 plus. Okay, so we take one connector from DO1 plus terminal and connect this connector to running indication. When motor is running, motor direction could be forward or reverse, but when motor is running condition, so running indicator will blink. I hope you clear the concept. Okay, for fault indication just we take one connector from DO2. Okay, and connect this connector to fault indicator. Okay, when any fault occurs in drive, so this indicator will blink. So fault indicator connection is done. 0 volt connects from relay and 24 volt supply connects directly. Okay, for this setup first we start drive. Okay, so just power supply is on. Okay, first understand which parameter we need to set for this connection for multi-speed function. So just need to enter macro third for this connection. So for entering and macro third, just press mode key. Okay, mode key for 2 seconds. P000, just press mode key for 1 second. CN003 for configuration third. Okay, for if you want to change your configuration, just you can change. For this connection we need to do configuration third. So configuration third is here, just press OK. Okay, now for press mode key, applications, again press mode key. So you can see third configuration or third macro is activate. Okay, for entering in parameter, just press mode key. Okay, 0 frequency is showing. When you press low speed push button, so you can see low speed frequency is 10.50 frequency. Okay, when you press push button, so frequency will show. If you release, so frequency will 0. Okay, and for medium speed, okay, for medium speed, when you rotate selector switch, so medium speed set frequency is 15 Hz frequency. So because selector switch is in on condition, so it is showing 15 Hz frequency. At the same time, if you press low speed push button, so low speed push button frequency is 10, so 10 plus 15, 25 Hz frequency is showing if you press two push button at the same time. Okay, if you rotate high speed selector switch, so high speed frequency 25, medium speed frequency is 40 and low speed frequency is 10, so it will be total 50 hertz frequency. Okay, if you press 2 speed push button at the same time, so frequency will be add. Okay, I hope you clear the concept. Okay, and for this connection, which parameter we just need to set, just under press mode key, some basic parameter which is most important. So first basic parameter is P700. Okay, selection of command source from where you want to start stop your drive. So because we start stop drive with push button or external terminal, so just set 2. Okay, all this parameter will be set default. Okay, automatically if you set configuration third. Second parameter 701 function of digital input first. Which function you want to do from digital input first? So digital input first for we set 1 for drive trigger on off. Okay, 702 digital input 2 is for low speed, so for low speed just need to set 15. Next digital input 703 digital input third for medium speed, so for medium speed just set 16. Okay, and for 704 which is digital input 4 and digital input 4 program for high speed, so for high speed 17 is set. All parameter is set by default if you set configuration third. Okay, and some more parameter which is 1000. Okay, just press up key and just need to 1000, which is selection of frequency from where you give frequency. So we give frequency directly or fixed frequency. So for fixed frequency just set 3. Okay, for low speed frequency if you want to change low speed frequency, so in 1001 you can set low speed frequency. If you want to change this frequency, so you can change by pressing up and down key. Okay, so 1001 for low speed, also 1002 for medium speed. Okay, medium speed frequency is set by default 15. If you want to change, so you can change. Okay, so for high speed frequency 1003, 25 frequency set for high speed. Okay, if you want to change frequency, so you can change. So all parameters is set by default. Okay, now let's see how it works. So for working, first if you press push button, so it will show frequency but it will not start. When you press trigger push button, so you can see drive is running in low speed because we connect push button. So when you press push button, so it will run. Okay, when you press selector switch of medium speed, so at medium speed it shows 15 hertz of frequency. Okay, and if you press high speed, also motor running indicator is on. If you press high speed push button, so it will show high speed frequency which is 25 hertz of frequency. Okay, if you press 2 push button at the same time, so frequency will be add. Okay, I hope you clear the concept how to do multi-speed function in Siemens Sinamics V20 drive. For this, how to do proper connection and which parameter we need to set. If you like this video, please press like button. For today's enough. We'll meet in next video. Thanks for watching.